right now. Finally.
Okay.
Should be any second, and it'll pop up on my Facebook. We are live. Oh my
Okay.
gosh, you guys. Welcome to Comic Spot. I am once again starstruck. This lady right here looks like Zsa Zsa Gabor wished she would have looked.
No, she was a pretty good looking woman.
She was, and you're even better looking. And I'm not a lesbian. God bless the lesbians. I'm just saying you're so beautiful inside and out.
Thank you. Thank you very much. That's very sweet of you. Thank you.
I have to get to know you. There's so much beneath the beauty that I feel is there.
I hope so.
Yeah. Thank you. You guys, this is Ninon. Let me try to pronounce her name.
Okay.
Ninon De Vere De Rosa.
You've got it nearly right.
I messed up the De Vere, didn't I?
It's De Vere, not Vera. It's De Vere. Ninon De Vere De Rosa.
Wow. I'm thinking the De Vere is French.
No, well, actually, it probably is somewhere along the line, but it's actually English. My father's family, that was one of their family names. My original name was Ninon De Vere Whiteway Wilkinson. That was my given name that I grew up with for 16 years.
Wow. So Ninon, I met you at the Peppermill here in Vegas.
Yes.
And just to remind you, this is who I was.
Yeah, okay.
I came in there and you were so gracious. I wasn't even slated to be interviewed. And I watched you interview everybody, and you do, okay, Ninon has over 100 different awards and commendations. She has 2 Emmys for a talk show in Los Angeles. This lady, I mean, give me a break. I don't have 1 award.
Well, then maybe I'm going to get one for you. I'm going to make one for you, and next time you come on the show, I'll present it to you so that you can say in your lifetime that you got an award.
Yes, I'm like a child right now. I'm so tickled. Let me read you a few of these things that I found on her bio that I kept telling everybody to go Google you. She's now doing an internet TV talk show here in Vegas at the Peppermill. Tuesdays, 1 o'clock. Go in, buy some food, and watch her. She's amazing.
You don't have to buy food anymore. You can just have a drink.
Wonderful, wonderful. I love the Peppermill. You get a big plate of food and nice ambiance. And Ninon, got to go there on Tuesdays at 1 o'clock Pacific. Don't try to do the East Coast thing here. I've even seen her on a poster at the Delirious Club at a comedy show. I think you were on it because you were holding a mic.
Yes.
She hails from England. She was trained publicly, educated publicly, but she is not fooling me one bit. With all those awards, she has a huge heart for little people. I know it. I feel it. I know that you care about everybody.
Yes, I do.
Watched you interview. And that is so cool. That's what I wanted to get to know you. It's like you have so many awards, but you care about anyone. And you don't, you're so well versed at interviewing. You don't have to, you're not insecure. You don't have to go Google and spy on people. You just have them sit down and you know what to do.
No, I don't do that actually. Funny you should say that. I don't pre-interview, and all I ask my talent director, Lynn, I said, just put next to it, are they in entertainment? Are they in real estate? What are they in? That's all I need. And I ask them, and if she doesn't put that there, I just ask them when they sit next to me on the red couch at the Peppermill in the lounge, and I ask them, I said, what is your main, what do you do? And they go start rambling. I said, no, don't tell me anything. I don't want to know anything at all. I just want to know your name, what would you like to be called, and what you do. That's all. And we'll go from there. And they look at me very puzzled, like, well, how can you have an interview like that? Oh, it's easy. For me, it's easy.
Yes. And so when I started doing that's why I love you so much, Ninon, because when I started doing these interviews, I didn't care about all their accomplishments, nothing. I just want to sit down. How you doing? What's going on? What are you doing? Where are you going? So we have that likeness.
Yes.
Except I don't have awards.
Well, we'll get you one. We'll make you one. Okay.
I want one with your autograph, and then Jesus can take me home, or whoever's out there that wants me can take me home.
Yeah, we'll meet upstairs somewhere.
Thank you. You do motivational speaking, and that's something I want to start doing. I just can't find anybody that wants to be motivated by me.
Well, don't say that, because if you say that, then you're not going to get anything, because you're already putting a doubt into it. So I teach, actually. I have another show called Ninon Speaks Media Image, and I have that with AJ Dean. She's my host. She's my co-host. And we actually try to help other people of how they can struggle through this epidemic and all what we're going through. But not only that, to struggle through life. I find most people put themselves down. We always we criticize ourselves. We put ourselves down. We don't sort of say, well, yes, I can do this. And every single person in the entire world has a different fingerprint. Okay? So if we all have a different fingerprint, then we are all totally different. And we're not really in competition with anybody. We seem to be more in competition with ourselves. And I've never had that. I've just marched forward and see if I can do what I want to do, and how I can do it, and when I can do it. And I actually do it. Most people talk about it and don't do it.
Stop for a second.
Yeah. So are we still on?
Yes, we are. It's going to cut in and out. So when it stops, we'll just ignore it.
No, just keep going.
It'll come back.
You know, if the roof was falling in and I'm having an interview, I guarantee that won't distract me at all. Not at all. I will stay with my interview.
You know, what I want to know is, what did you go through in your life that made you a humanitarian, a huge heart for people? Caring, loving. What happened?
I think it was a gift given to me. I'm very much in contact with the above world, our Father in heaven and Jesus. I pray. When I pray to both of them, I pray to the Father, because without the Father we don't have the Son, without the Son we don't have the Father, so they both get sort of half and half from me. I had a very, very different childhood. I never went to school. I never went to college. I've had no education at all. I come from a family of 5 children. I have an older sister and brother, and 2 younger brothers. My mother and father were highly intelligent people, brilliant actually, but they were never interested in giving their children an education. And I didn't know why. So I got a different everyday education, not necessarily sitting at a desk and a teacher telling me how to do something. That never happened. So when I left home at 16 with $16, that's how I started my world. I started my life that way with no education. So I had to kind of find a job, obviously to keep myself, that I didn't need an education with. So I found 2 jobs. And I worked 18 hours a day, and for a whole year in my town, Torquay, Devon, in England. And I saved £100. I know that sounds ridiculous, but I saved £100 in a year, because I wasn't making much. I was only 16, so the wages weren't that high. And but I had 2 jobs, and I was in a hotel, a boutique hotel, which I ended up running at 17. And then I also went to my girlfriend's father had a ballroom called the 400 Ballroom in Torquay. Everybody knows that ballroom in those days, in the 60s. And I went down there and I was the bartender. And then I made enough money and I got somebody who was going to London to give me a ride to London. And I moved in with my grandmother in London. And there it started with the modeling and on forth.
Talk to me about your modeling days.
Well, my modeling days, I always remember my very first job. It was really quite funny. I had taken this little short course or something. And in Plymouth, which is about 40 miles from Torquay, where I come from, they chose me to be a model for this particular fashion show. They also chose me to be the bride. And so that was my first modeling job. I was a bride and I had this beautiful gown on and it was just so thrilling and I really loved it. The reason I saved all this money was I had to get photographs taken so that I had a composite. It's called a composite. A composite is about 3 or 4 photographs on one page and then it says who you are. And I had to have that. And I remember that out of the £100, it cost me £35 to get these photographs. And my aunt said, you can't do that. You can't. I said, if I don't get the photographs done, I will not be able to model because you have to get an agent. So I got an agent, gave them all these photographs and everything. And I worked with Harrods. I worked with a lot of the big magazines. I did a lot of fashion shows. I did very, very well. I was very fortunate. But it was hard. So it was, I'm going to keep talking. I don't know where we kind of lost you, but that's okay. I guess it goes in and out this particular, I don't know where you are. Hello? Are you there? Hello?
I'm here, but okay. I don't see you.
You still hear me?
All of a sudden, you're not, your vision.
I'm here.
I hope you're still here.
I'm here.
Oh, good. This silly thing.
Yeah, you disabled. It tells me you disabled me. I've been disabled.
You're back. You're back now.
I'm back. I don't know where I ended off and what happened, but that's okay. But yes, I think the modeling career was just the beginning of where I was going, and it was really cool. I loved it, and I did very, very well. Worked in Harrods and all the top stores in London, magazines and everywhere. I did extremely well. And then I got a job as an underwater swimming act in this little tiny bowl. It was 4.5 feet by 4.5 feet. It was only me, and I twisted and turned and did an act in that. And I did that at the Casino de Lebanon in Beirut. I was in the big show there called May We.
That is amazing. Oh my goodness. So it was just you, it wasn't synchronized with other.
No, it was just a little bowl. It was 4.5 feet by 4.5 feet. It was kind of round. And I did this sort of topsy-turvy and swims and acrobatics in this water. And it was pretty cool. It was different.
Wow. I would be so upset if the internet messes up and we don't get to talk about all your awards and all your interviewing. Would you please talk about it all?
Well, going past forward, I lived in Jamaica for 9 months because I got a couple of modeling jobs there and I did a couple of films there. From there, I went to Miami, and in Miami, I got another film. I got a little part, and I also, you know, the funny thing I didn't know, because I didn't know America and I was quite young at that time, and I was a stand-in for Rita Hayworth. The movie was called The Grove, and the producer was William Griffey. I don't know what happened to it, but I believe that was her last movie. And she was absolutely beautiful and lovely and all that stuff. And from there, I came into Los Angeles. And Los Angeles, I started doing a lot of other things to make a living. And it was very difficult then to get to get acting jobs because I had this English accent, which is a little bit stronger than it is now. But I still did well. But then I got married. And when I got married, I dropped everything. I kind of came out of the business. But after about being married for about, I don't know, it was probably about 5 or 6 years, I felt I was losing myself. I thought I was losing my identity. So I started a show called Kids Talk. And the reason I did this show is because I had this beautiful home, 7,000 square foot home in Bel Air with my husband. I met him, he didn't have any money, and I think I had more than him, and I didn't have any money. But we made a lot of money in real estate and did extremely well between the two of us. We were very good together, working together, though I let him do most of the talking because that's what men like. And I just smiled and sat back and said a few things when I should, and played the role, as I say. Anyway, so then I started the show, Kids Talk, and Kids Talk became Voices of Tomorrow. And the reason I did that show was I wanted to give the younger generation the opportunity and the platform to know who they are and what they are, to know that they don't have to come from money, they don't really have to have an education, and they don't need really anything, because that's what I went through. I didn't have to read a book to see what I had to do. I just had to know my story and relate things that they could do and who they were, because all children out there, children and teenagers and the younger generation, are absolutely amazing. We don't think so this day and age. I don't know why, but I love the younger generation. I always will, and I always have their back. They are brilliant. They are brilliant. And I don't know why we don't pay much attention to them now as we used to. But I don't know, freedom, I don't know what it is. But anyway, that's why I did that. I won tremendous, I won about 125 awards. I've got them all over here. And but I never went out to get them. They just kind of came to me, which was rather cool. I thought that was really nice. But I knew I knew the whole school system. I knew all the different, it was amazing. Every school I knew, and I helped all these kids, and they used to look at me instead of ask me questions. And oh, it was just beautiful. It was a little, And juvenile hall, I managed to get my cameras into juvenile hall, which I still can in Los Angeles. And I did that to give them a break, to let them know that there is somebody behind them, to let them know what are they doing in juvenile hall. I understand juvenile hall now, or it was, there's a waiting list to get into juvenile hall. What on earth are parents or the older generation doing to allow this? I don't know. But I did give them the opportunity. I put it out there, and that was really cool.
What's one of the best scenarios with you interviewing children that came out of that? Anything?
To give them the confidence as to who they were. There was a foundation, and I think it was called Lighthouse. I'm not quite if I'm telling the right one, but this particular foundation actually turned the whole sscenario around and got the children to start talking to the parents. And I thought, wow, aren't the parents? And they said, well, in some cases, a majority of cases, a child will say, mommy, daddy, and they start saying about their story. Well, parents mostly, not all, but mostly, they don't listen to the child. They usually bring, oh, I remember, that happened to me. They start telling their whole story. Now, a child's sort of attention span is in one ear, and it dashes through this head and goes out the other. They don't pay attention to that unless it's, so I always used to say to parents or people, just listen. That was one of my mottos. Just listen to your child. Just listen. Be quiet and say something when you need to, but let that child open up and listen to what that child has to say. It's not the same as ours. Always remember, everybody out there wants them to know this. a child is always, majority, is normally 20
what?
years younger than their parents. So there is this big gap of them learning this and the parents doing this. It wasn't the same 25 years ago as it is now. And the parent has to readapt itself and understand that child living in this day and age, not 20 years back. That's the greatest lesson I can give them and the children. So sometimes, so that was one of my greatest shows, was when the children go to the parents. I thought that was cool.
That is so wonderful. You know, I do comedy, and I went and saw one of the top female comics, and all she did was cut down the young people, and I couldn't believe it.
Oh, she was young once, so whoever helped her got her where she got to.
Yes.
I don't agree with cutting down the younger generation because, and I'm very definite about this, now maybe I'm coming a little bit heavy on it, but the reason being is we are here, and it doesn't even matter if they're parents or whether it's somebody else. We are here to help our younger generation as much as we possibly can and not to put them down. The only reason why a child will rebuff or do something we don't like because we've done something to aggravate that child or we haven't paid attention. I guarantee that. Pay more attention to your child. A child is the love of your life. I mean, you conceived a child in love one way or the other. Yes. I mean, come on.
Absolutely.
It's easy. It's easy. Bringing up children, I think, is easy. If you want them. If you don't want them, don't have them.
So what gave you the love for children? Where did that come? Because of your childhood?
I just think that was something that's sort of a gift again. I don't look at a child as a child. I look at a child as an age, as the 1, 2, 3, 15, 16. I love teenagers. I love where they're at today. I love to listen to them. I love to listen to what they think about something, but I really do listen because I learn from young people. I love the younger generation. I think they're amazing.
Me too. This generation that we have now, there's nothing like it.
I mean, even the children, even the teenagers that are doing all these marches and everything, I don't even think half of them know what they're marching for.
No.
But they're just, they want to be part of something and they want to be whatever it is. But parents, come on. Find out what your child is doing. Explain to the child. You're the adult or the organizer or whatever. But anyway, but that's what it is.
So
yes, I love children. I do. But I don't have any.
Well, you probably have thousands of children who remember you fondly. Have any of them come back to contact you? Well,
I have, a lot of them. But I do have 2 of them one of them is Aram Najarian. Actually, they're both Armenian. One is Aram Najarian, and he's like a son to me. He truly is like, because I've known him since he was 12 years old, and obviously much older now. And the other one is, I forget her name now, Karina or something. But anyway, she's also another one that's very much like a daughter. So I've got, it's cool.
What is something that Ninon wants to tell everybody that I didn't get out of you yet? Because I said 30 minutes and I don't want to keep you if you're busy.
I'm fine.
I want to know what you want to say.
Well, I've said everything. I've said a lot. What do you mean? What do I want to say about what I want to do or about what I feel?
Maybe what's something that you haven't done yet and what legacy you want to leave or anything you want to tell?
Well, the legacy the legacy is just giving back to people. It's just, come on, stop all this rowing, stop all these arguments, stop all this hate. I mean, come on, we're all human beings. None of us chose where to be born. None of us chose what color to be. None of us chose, how our mind is and how we were brought into this world. We have lots of choices after we're born. So we all take the first breath and then we all take the last breath. And we all do the same thing. We all come into the world the same way, unless there's something I don't know about. And we all die the same way, unless there's something I don't know about there too, which is very possible. It's very possible. But whichever way we die, it's the first breath and the last breath. And it's truly, what do you want to be left as, and what do you want people to know you as of what you've gone through and how you've gone through it? I was gifted, and I truly believe it was, I was gifted with liking people. Don't misunderstand me, because I don't like everybody, but I don't hate anybody, because if somebody doesn't get on with me, or I don't get on with them, that doesn't make that person a bad person. That person's still a beautiful person. It's just, we just don't sort of connect. And that's basically what it is. And just, leave it, forget it, and find somebody that you're compatible with. It's like being married. You're not gonna marry somebody you don't like. You're going to marry somebody you're in love with, hopefully, or whatever reasons. Not everybody has the reason to be in love with to be married. So there's a lot of different reasons for being married, because we're talking about the world. So there's a lot of arranged marriages and a lot of things that happen in different countries. But we're still human. We still all live, and we're still. So I think what I would like to leave that to people to get on with each other a little bit better. Not trying to find something wrong with them. It's like, you talk to a girlfriend. Oh, she did this and she did that. Well, that's not nice. And I think we all do it. I probably do it too.
We all are guilty of it.
Yeah.
We're one thing we have in common. We're all a bunch of hypocrites in one way.
Some way. I'm not so much a hypocrite. Maybe I don't think I am, but maybe I'm sure some people say, "Oh, she is." Or, it's like some people love my show, and some people, who does she think she is? But when you put yourself out there in the media, you have to, you have to take the good, bad, and the ugly. I mean, that's just how life is. And I just hope I reach enough people. I hope I help enough people. And I think right in this day and age with this COVID and everything, we need to help and understand more people.
Yes. When I refer to us all collectively as hypocrites, I just mean, like, I'll say I hate lipstick, but somewhere in my house there's lipstick. We all have something that we profess, but once in a while, like my father, he loved to eat organic food, but once a month he went to get a McDonald's burger.
Good for him. He has some nutrition in his body. No, I would not call that being a hypocrite. I would call that being yourself. I will call that, yes, of course, I don't like to eat these things, but once a month I'm going to give myself a treat. That's like a diet. That's exactly like a diet. Where there's a diet, you can't eat this, this, and this. And I'm going to go out and I'm going to buy the biggest ice cream possible. That's not really a hypocrite. That's kind of sort of somebody that sort of, is actually normal in life. So I think so. So how's the comedy going now? Are you doing all right with comedy?
So I've done 525 interviews, and now I've been invited on to shows around the world, Zoom shows, and there's people in LA that are putting me on, people in major networks that are watching my interviewing for whatever reason. So I'm getting noticed, I'm getting noticed.
And how are you getting noticed?
Well, so you talk to somebody and you invite them on the show and they tell somebody, and all of a sudden you have somebody on here from NBC, who,
yes.
and he might know somebody, nothing really has happened, and that's okay. I every day I get down on my knees and talk to, I'm half Jewish, half Christian. So I talk to both sides.
Which half?
What?
Which half?
Yeah, the wrong half. I wanted to be Jewish, and my mother was Christian. So I'm not considered Jewish, but I feel I'm half Jewish, half Christian.
Well, no, you could be Jewish if you want to. If you can go to the synagogue, and you can go to which we call the church. You can go to the synagogue. You can be 100% Jewish if you want to be. That is, that's one beautiful thing in this entire world is you can be whatever religion you want to be. You can be. Did you know that?
That's true.
Anyone can. I mean, and that's probably after 16 or 18 years of age, because sometimes you have to go with your parents of what they want you to be, and then after that, you can actually choose that.
Yes. That's so true.
But you can't choose the color of your skin. That you got to deal with. I mean, I got to deal with me. I have to deal with me every single day. What a challenge that is.
Yeah. I don't know about you, but I want to make sure that every day, every interview, I'm doing it for you, not for what's in it for me. And if I'm doing it with the right motive, I feel that good will come. That's it.
Well, yeah, it's funny you should say that, because many times I say on my show, I say, this is all about you, not me. I said, I just sit here and ask a couple of questions, but this is really promoting you. This is for you, and this is to let people know who you are, what you are, and everything else. So, so don't forget to watch Vegas Live with Ninon. We're on YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe. Vegas Live with Ninon. We're on YouTube. We're on everywhere.
Yes, I have all your links. I'm going to put
all on my links. You can send it all to my links. I love you.
I love you.
I have to tell you, this woman who's interviewing me right now is an amazing woman. She's absolutely wonderful. She's put herself out there and she's not giving up. So, and I love people like that. I love people that don't give up and just keep moving. You know, who's to tell you what to do and what not to do out there? I mean, if you've got the guts, go and do it.
And do you ever teach people how to be motivational speakers?
Yes, I do. I do that a lot.
Okay, so can I email you about that? Yes,
you can. You can mention that, and it's also there's another Facebook thing I have. It's called Ninon Speaks Media Image, and I interview a lot of people, and I do a lot of things. I help a lot of people actually for what they the struggles they have and what they can't get through. And normally it's not a struggle; it's normally just a wall they put in front of themselves. I can't do this. Or why can't you do it? You haven't even tried it. How can you say you can't do it? Of course you can do it. Anybody can do anything.
Wow. I love you so much. Thank you. I knew there was so much beauty besides what I saw just at the Peppermill. Thank you for coming on, Ninon.
Thank you very much. It was wonderful. I love you. And I don't know where I can get this, but I'm sure you're going to send it to all my platforms and we'll see it.
Yes, I will. I'll make sure that I do that right away.
Okay, thank you so much. It was amazing. And I guess I'm going to say one last thing.
Well, the internet would stop right now.
Nothing happens without you.
Oh, I love that. Thank you so much.
That's on the back of my card. Nothing happens without you. It doesn't. Wow. Somebody had to make this chair I'm sitting in, so, you know.
Yes.
If it wasn't for them, I wouldn't have a chair to sit in.
There you go. Thank you so. Oh, one last question. I'm like Columbo. I'll stop at what Columbo. He used to always go out and investigate, and they'd think they were done with the questions, and he'd turn around and go, "One more question."
One more question.
So
I love Columbo. I thought he was a very exciting actor. He was always kind of bent over, and he was always like running and going to places, and with the raincoat on and the whole bit, and trying to get where. But he always solved the problem. He says, and he'd have that look.
Which award that you got, if your house caught on fire, God forbid, which award would you grab?
Oh, I don't know. I love them all, but there's two of them. They're from the President Bush. I got one for Kids Talk Productions and one to Ninon De Rosa. Those two, because they're pretty important. But they're all important. I mean, I've got one here from the Los Angeles Business Journal. I got a beautiful award, women making a difference. I got that as well. There's so many of them. I mean, oh my goodness gracious me, so many. But we're not talking about politics right now, just because I chose those two. So just clarify that. I'm whoever does the best job, whoever keeps America in order,
yes.
Keeps it on top.
I saw you at the Delirious, at the Step and Repeat at the Grand.
Yes.
And so I don't know if you're aware of it, but on next Thursday they're reopening the comedy.
Oh, they are.
8 and 10
Do they have a red carpet there? Do they have
I don't know. I'll ask Don Barnhart. Do you want me to find out and let you know?
I'll come down and do the red carpet for them.
Okay.
I'll do the interviews for them.
Wonderful.
Okay, I can do that.
I'll watch you. I'll just watch you.
What do you mean watch? You come down, you're going to be there, aren't you?
Yep.
Of course. Okay.
Okay. So I'll get Don Barnhart to reply to you.
Okay, great. Awesome. Awesome.
Thank you so much. Love
Thank
you.
Thank you very much for the interview. Take care.
Thank you. Bye.